Hi there, and welcome to another Mickey's Roundtable Adventure, where we explore everything Disney, one themed adventure at a time. For this adventure, I headed to Walt Disney World in Florida. I hit the It's Tough to Be a Bug show at Animal Kingdom, Dinoland USA, Muppet Vision 3D, the Rivers of America, Tom Sawyer Island, the Liberty Square Riverboat. What do all these things have in common? What's the theme? Disney has announced they're closing each and every one of these attractions. You're not going to want to miss this very sad Mickey's Roundtable Adventure. As last year, 2024, was wrapping up, I was looking back at the previous year and all of the videos that I had done. I noticed a common thread, a common pattern, a theme, if you will, among many of the videos. They featured all of these different attractions that Disney has announced would be closing. When I was in the parks, I would talk to other guests and they would tell me they were visiting the parks specifically to visit the various attractions that would be closing, their favorite attractions, Rivers of America, Muppet Vision 3D, whatever it happened to be. So I thought, let me do a video where I visit every one of the attractions that would be closing. As I'm recording this in the studio, it is mid-January, so it's been about a month since I actually did the adventure. When I did the adventure, some of these attractions were still open. They're now closed, namely the Triceratops Spin at Dinoland USA. Triceratops Spin is a traditional spinner ride. Nothing fancy or special about it. It was one of 4 spinner rides at Walt Disney World, the other 3 being in Magic Kingdom. But out of the 4, it's probably the one that fit the area that it was in best thematically. It was a carnival ride in a carnival. Dino-Rama was essentially a roadside carnival themed to dinosaurs, which tied into the discovery of dinosaur bones in the area and the establishment of the Dino Institute. And there was a whole great backstory of Dinoland USA that tied the whole area together, and that was part of it. And for the adults out there that say, oh, it was just a spinner, you're not the target audience. Little kids are. As a little kid, I remember being at Como Park Zoo in St. Paul, Minnesota. They had a little carnival area, and they had the little flat rides go in a circle. One was a motorcycle, and you actually went over a jump. There was another one that was a boat. As an adult, some 45 years later, I still remember that vividly. The other attraction there at Hester and Chester's Dino-Rama was a roller coaster that's been gone for several years now. And then there were games. I've never played the games before, but on this particular adventure, on this particular outing, I decided I'm going to try to play the games. And there's 5, or yes, there were, I believe, 5 different games. And this was one of the prizes that you could win. Now, I did not win this. A friend of mine, she won that, and she loaned that to me for the video. So I want to thank her for letting me use that as a prop here. But yeah, so there were multiple different games. I tried this time. I failed. But fun to do, fun extra. They cost extra money, so it wasn't like a freebie that you come and just play the games for free. You'd pay extra money, but if you won, you won. And it was, again, themed to a carnival. Right next to Hester and Chester's, just across the path there, was the Boneyard. Where's the Boneyard? The Boneyard's still there. It's still open. It's going to be open there for a little while longer, through 2025, if it's the same schedule that they announced with the dinosaur ride, which we'll get to in just a second. The Boneyard, that's cool. Especially, again, if you're a little kid, you get to run around and there's things you can climb on slides, and there's dinosaur skeletons, and this is where the story all tied together. They discovered the dinosaur bones and attracted all kinds of paleontologists, and Hester and Chester tapped into this, created their hokey, cheesy carnival next door, opened up a gift shop, and the Dino Institute opened up just down the road. And this is something I noticed on this might have been this visit or the next one that I went there to Dinoland USA. The dinosaur ride, when you come into Dinoland, you can't see it. Seems like poor planning. You know, you come in and you see Hester and Chester, says, okay, this is it. The main attraction, the big attraction in Dinoland USA, you can't even see it from when you come in. It's a fun storyline. There's basically, I think, 3 ways that you could do dinosaurs. You could clone dinosaurs. Well, they already did that over at the other park, at the other, Universal. There's the Lost World, kind of, you could go somewhere where dinosaurs are still alive, or you could go back in time. So they opted for the third way of doing dinosaurs.
And how you can help me make history today with the Time Rover. It's like this. If I can bring you back from the Cretaceous period, it stands to reason that I can bring back a live dinosaur with you.
And you go into your Time Rover and you head back in time trying to retrieve a dino from the past and bring him to the present. And it's a fun ride. Could it be better? Oh yeah, it could be much better. It's got potential to be a really great ride, but it's dark and animatronics don't seem to be very good or don't work very well. And yeah, I think it could be much better than it is, using the same theme and the same storyline and everything that's there. But yeah, they don't want to do that. They're going to go a different route, and it will be closing down sometime either late 2025, early 2026. They haven't given any specific dates on that. The main restaurant, quick service restaurant that's there in Dinoland USA, I absolutely love. Restaurantosaurus. It's even got a fantastic, fun name. There's dinosaur fossils on the wall and paintings and all kinds of stuff. And so I ate there, grabbed a bite to eat, probably my last time. Well, we've got some time. Again, Dinosaur the Ride isn't closing right away. The Boneyard isn't closing right away. And Restaurantosaurus isn't closing right away. So maybe I'll get a chance to go back there at some point in the next year and have another meal. But that's going to be closing as well. I wanted to focus the video primarily on the attractions, but that also is slated to be closed and rethemed to their tropical Americas. And I'm going to get into all of the stuff that I'm covering here and what they plan on replacing them all with later on in the video. So stay tuned for that. Also there at Animal Kingdom, another attraction that is going to be closing and being changed into something else. It's Tough to Be a Bug, the 3D show that is there in the center of the park in the Tree of Life, under the Tree of Life. A really well done show. Watch my video on that. I've got other videos that cover all of this and specifics and more history and why I think they're fantastic attractions. But this is one of those that, wow, it fits really well where it's at. And they're planning on changing it out to a Zootopia themed attraction. And yeah, it's not going to be as good. I know it's not going to be as good. That's my gut feeling there. From there, I headed on over to Magic Kingdom and the Rivers of America. For me, that's the big one. That's the, what in the world are they thinking? Attractions that they're planning on closing. The Liberty Square Riverboat and Tom Sawyer Island. Just too much for me to say here. Watch my video. Huck no, Save the Rivers of America. I'll link to that one at the end of this video, that one specifically. Such a well-themed area. Can they be improved, plussed in some way? The riverboat, Tom Sawyer Island especially, I think could be plussed. I did a video on walkthrough attractions. I included the Tom Sawyer Island, of course, in that. Fantastic place to run around and have fun. That can be plussed and improved in a lot of different ways. And so... yeah, that's the biggest heartbreak if they go ahead with those plans. I don't know if I'll ever even want to go into Magic Kingdom again, much less, yeah. That one's still up in the air a little bit. They're working on their permit issues. Who knows? While I'm editing this together, maybe they'll announce that, yeah, here's the closing date, or here's the official permits being approved, or maybe they won't be approved. Who knows? That's the hope. But we'll see here in the coming days, weeks. I don't think we're very far out from getting a decision back from the state as far as whether or not their permits are approved. Again, it's mid-January right now as I'm recording this, and so we'll see. From Magic Kingdom, I headed over to Hollywood Studios. This is kind of a weird one in a way. So I went to the Rock and Roller Coaster. The last time I tried to go there, it was closed down for a maintenance issue or something, and there was like nobody there. This time when I stopped by, it was quite the opposite. It was a big, long wait. I waited in the single rider line. I think that was actually longer than the regular standby line. Anyway, I did ride on that. Didn't shoot any video on the ride itself because it's dark and it's a pretty intense roller coaster. But currently, it's the Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith. The plan is to retheme that to the Muppets. I don't know that that makes a whole lot of sense, but again, if you watch my recent video, Muppets and Monsters, I cover that and what their plans are. And my prediction is that it will be the thinnest, cheapest, simplest overlay of an attraction ever in the history of Disney parks. There's not much that they could do. It's instead of Aerosmith introducing the show in the pre-show saying, hey, come with us, and we're going to take you across town to a concert. It will be Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem and maybe Kermit and Miss Piggy or something. Hey, come with us to the other side of town for a music festival or whatever they said in their announcement. And that, of course, leads me into my last attraction that I visited on this adventure that will be closing, Muppet Vision 3D. Muppet Vision 3D is a classic. It is the last project that Jim Henson, the creator of the Muppets, ever worked on. And it is the perfect embodiment of immersive entertainment. You are in this show with the Muppets that you've seen on TV, you've seen on the movie screen, and it's a 3D movie, but it's a 3D movie. They come out at you. There's Muppets in the auditorium, Stadler and Waldorf up in the box up there. Sweetums comes out. There's 4D effects. You are part, and the movie is interacting with the Muppets and characters in the theater. Really fantastic, really well done. And they're going to get rid of it. That concluded the day of exploring all of these different attractions that would be closing, and there's quite a few of them. In addition to the trend that I noticed in my videos, I noticed a trend in the attractions that are going to be built in place of all of these attractions. Every single one of them requires the removal of another attraction. From the Muppets being inserted into Rock and Roller Coaster, Cars Land and Villains Land replacing the Rivers of America, Zootopia taking out It's Tough to Be a Bug, Encanto and Indiana Jones replacing Dinoland USA, and Monsters Inc. going into Muppets Courtyard taking out Muppet Vision 3D. Of course, this isn't a brand new trend. In the last 5 years or so, since I moved down to Florida and started coming to Walt Disney World very regularly, all of the new attractions, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and Rise of the Resistance, Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, Country Bear Musical Jamboree, Tiana's Bayou Adventure, all of those attractions replaced other attractions. The only two that they've built and opened in the last 5 years that have not are Ratatouille and Tron. Those are good additions to the parks. They didn't have to destroy anything to build those. But since then, everything they've done and everything they're planning on doing requires removing something else. I know what you're gonna say, or a lot of people are gonna say, but Walt said, yeah, I know what Walt said.
Park means a lot to me in that something that will never be finished, something that I can keep developing and adding to.
But we also know what he did. When people refer to that, my question to them, to you, if you're one of those folks, what exactly are you referring to? If Walt Disney's frozen head was to be unthawed, brought over to Disneyland, would he recognize it? Very much so. So much of Disneyland is still the Disneyland that Walt Disney knew during the 10 years that he was alive and Disneyland was around. From the train pulling into Main Street USA itself, Sleeping Beauty Castle, the Jungle Cruise, Rivers of America, the Mark Twain, Tom Sawyer Island, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, Dumbo the Flying Elephant, the Mad Tea Party, It's a Small World, Casey Jr. Circus Train. You could go on and on. It's very much the same park that Walt left it. He did change some things. He did take out some existing attractions and replace them with other things. I'm not denying that. But what examples do you have? Because the best that I can come up with is Holiday Hill. Does anybody remember Holiday Hill? That was leftover dirt from the construction of Disneyland that they landscaped. It became the Matterhorn, which is still there today. The Phantom Boats, basically an Autopia Tomorrowland Speedway attraction, but only it was motorboats. That got replaced by the submarines. They're a little different than they were in his day, but they're still there. The Hall of Chemistry, boy, that was a crowd pleaser. That eventually became Journey Through Inner Space, and well after Walt's death, and became Star Tours. What about the Viewliner train? That was very short-lived. That was a precursor to today's monorails, which are still there. What are you talking about? Walt said it would always be changing. He talked about improving it. Something else he said.
Here in Florida, we have something special we never enjoyed at Disneyland, the blessing of size. There's enough land here to hold all the ideas and plans we could possibly imagine.
There's still a lot of room around all of the different parks, all over the place. Another pattern that I noticed, another theme, every one of these new attractions that they want to replace these old attractions with, there's plenty of room all over the place that you could put these without disturbing any other attractions. In addition to the fact that there is plenty of room that you could add new attractions, there's room that you could place all of these new attractions and ideas that they have that would fit thematically better than all of the locations they have proposed putting them. Indiana Jones has nothing to do with animals. Oh no, he's gonna be after mythical animals, so that now it fits. In Kanto, you've got what, a tertiary minor character that shows up in the movie for what, 6-7 minutes? They can talk to animals. Oh, now that suddenly fits in Animal Kingdom. Yeah, that's a stretch at best. Rivers of America, you're going to rip that out to put cars in there? What do cars have to do with Frontierland? It's up in the western United States, so there is a lot more to Frontierland than just a geographic location. A lot more. Watch my video. I'll plug it again here. Huck No, Save the Rivers of America. I explain why the Rivers of America are there, how they fit thematically into both Liberty Square and Frontierland, and ties it all together, and putting in cars kind of just blows the whole thing up. Not just those lands, but the whole park. While I was recording and editing my video here, they did announce that the Muppet Vision 3D attraction would be closing specifically on June 8th. June 8th it will be closed. June 7th is the last day that you will be able to experience that. at Walt Disney World, Hollywood Studios. It's sad. And Monsters Inc., that's kind of the only one of these announcements there I thought, yeah, that kind of works. I can be okay with this. And I love the Muppets. But more I think about it, the more I analyze it, it doesn't really work. And there, like I said, there's so much room elsewhere that these attractions, and that attraction, Monsters Inc. Land, if they really want to put that in, they could find somewhere else that could go. All right, that's enough of the ranting and the tangents and the, I don't really script these. I just kind of, I script them in my head, and I have thoughts and I have ideas, and I kind of lay them out and edit them together. And hopefully it came together, and hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, check out some of my other videos. So until next time, we'll see you real soon.